Yo, mena ni kasemo wa jenshi ni wabakwa ni bi kumeni what inchomu. We are going to start our lesson today, and I'm going to go through a few things that I've already taught on this channel. Okay. Wabakwa a few. We'll take it bit by bit. Now, we are going to recap this, replacing me with in, I, okay, okay. Now, Ga is a tonal language. Let me see if I'm recording properly. Check. Yeah, recording is on. Ga is a tonal language, so the way we speak, a lot of the times is different from the way we write. So there's the written language, and there is the spoken language. Okay, so it's not everything you see written in books that you can see, that you will hear people speak. So a lot of the times, me, as in me or I, when we are speaking, we replace that with I, and I can sound like any four of these sounds. In, I, which is the I, or which is just the N. Okay. A typical example is my mother, me, mommy, my mother, me, mommy. And this usually happens when we are using the possessive pronouns. Me, mommy, my mother. When we are speaking, a lot of the times you hear mommy, as in the I, mommy. Or sometimes you hear some people saying mommy, mommy, the N, mommy. But it's the same thing. Okay, so when you hear things like that, do not be confused. It is me that has been replaced by one of these four sounds. That's still the same. Okay, one yano. We are continuing. Welcome, Atu. Minganye. Minganye. Minganye, meaning I greet you, or minganye, I greet you, or nye is you, plural. You, plural. Okay. How are you, plural? Then we go, how are you, singular? Okay, now recapping this, I'm going to be asking a lot of questions, so you are going to be contributing and telling me a few things. So how are we going to say any of these? Ming, and I greet you all. So how are you and how are you? Singular or plural? Anybody? You can unmute yourself and just answer any of these.
Tetang.
Tetang. Tetang. Perfect. Tetang. How else can we say how are you?
Oh, your tang.
Te or your tang. Great. Te or your tang. Now, te or your tang means that it is how are you? Singular. Te o, which is bo, your tang. Te tang is also good. It means how are you? But te tang is something, a phrase that we use for maybe friends, associates, okay? But when you are asking or speaking to an adult, an elderly person, you usually don't use tetin. Okay, you use, because tetin is more informal. You can say te o your ten. All right, so we've got a singular. How are you, singular? Te o your ten. How are we going to say how are you, plural? That would be te nye your ten. Nye your ten. Te nye your ten. Te nye your ten. Or your ten, we've already said. So I am fine, thank you. Or we are fine, thank you. How are we going to say any of these? Now remember I said me, you can exchange it with I as the I, or when we are speaking. And most of these writers have written it the way that we are going to speak it. Okay, so this is majority of the writings here are not the way we write, just the way we speak. So in ye jogbam, in ye jogbam, in ye jogbam. Oh, you are done. Oh, you are done. Even though in writing we say oyi wala don. Oyi wala don. When we are speaking, we say oyi wa don. And that is what you are really going to hear people say. Oyi wa don. And again, if it is plural, you say woye jogbam. Woye jogbam. Oyi wa don. Woye jogbam. Repeat that after me, please. Woye jogbam.
Woye jogbam.
Woye jogbam. Great. Woye jogbam. All right. So with woye jogbam, oyi wa don. That is, we are good. Thank you. Again, something else that we looked at was this, which is, what is your name? Or what do they call you? What do we call you? And that is a question that we do ask a lot. Many G obey. Many G obey. Or te achao buten. Te achao buten. What do they call you? Te achao buten. What do they call you? Or many G ogbe, what is your name? Now, many G ogbe, a lot of times when you are people are speaking with the word many, even though that is the right pronunciation, a lot of people say mini, as if they are saying mini, mini me, or mini something, M-I-N-I. But it is not, it is many. The right word is many, many. So many G ogbe, many G ogbe. Is there any other way that you know that you can use to ask somebody's name? Any other? Anybody can answer this? Do you know any other way that you can ask somebody's name? Because these are not the only two. Okay, the other one is, okay, we've done this. Te acho buten. Many Jew obey. Many Jew obey. Or te acho buten. And the third one that you probably will hear, my name is, or they call me. Ingbeji. Again, I'm using the I. Ingbeji. Ingbeji. Then you mention your name. Or achomi. Achomi. But achomi, sometimes you hear achomi. As if the O is two. Achomi. So achomi ni papa. Or achomi ni bako. Or you hear ingbeji ni papa. Ingbeji ni papa. How old are you? There's different ways to ask this question as well. Oye afi enyi. Oye afi enyi. Okay? Oye afi enyi. Or afi enyi oye. Afi enyi oye. So when I say, you can repeat it after me, either on mute or you can unmute yourself and repeat it, just making sure that you are getting to the destination right. Oye afi enyi. Or another way is afi enyi oye. Afi enyi oye. And the response to that will be, the example I used was, I am 40 years old. I am 40 years old. And this brings you back, takes you back to the numbers. Ekome, enyo, eten, edre, enumo. Okay, counting 1 to 5. So 1 is ekome, 2 is enyo, 3 is eten, 4 is edre, and 5 is enumo. If you are making notes, you can write them down. So ekome, enyo, eten, edre, enumo. 5. Okay, first 5 is good enough for this lesson. So I am 40 years old. Now 10 is nyoma. 10 is nyoma. Nyoma. So let's all say nyoma. Nyoma. Okay. Josephine, I want you to repeat after me. Nyoma. You can unmute yourself. Nyoma.
Nyoma.
Say that again.
Nyoma.
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 Okay. Michael.
Nyongma.
Again.
Nyongma.
Okay. Eunice.
Nyuma.
Okay. Nyoma. Okay. Great. Now this is how it sounds. Nyo. Nyo. So all your teeth will be together. Ny. Ny. And while you're saying it, the middle of your tongue will be touching the upper part of your mouth. Ny. Nyo. So you start with on. Nyo. And some of the sound will come through your nose, so it will be, it is because it's nasal. Okay, nasal sound. Oh, so nyo. Nyo. Then ma. Ma. Now, when I say ma, when I'm saying the ma, it's not ma. A lot of people saying, I heard some of you saying ma, nyoma, but it is ma, so nga, ma, 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 nyoma. Okay, nyo, ma. Let's try it all together. Unmute yourself in 3, 2, 1, nyoma, go.
Nyongma.
Good, nyoma. Excellent, nyoma. Okay, so 40 will be nyongmai, plural. Nyongma is 1/10. Nyongmai is plural of tens. So you say tens. Nyongmai. Nyongmai. So nyongmai. Edre. Edre is 4. I said ekome, enyo, eten, edre, 4. Nyongmai, edre. So inye, afi, I am of, I've eaten this number of years. Inye, afi, nyongmai, edre. Inye, afi, nyongmai, edre. I am 40 years old. Okay. Having said this, we are going to use, in fact, everybody, whether you are in your 40s or not, by force, you are in your 40s. Okay, for this lesson, you are in your 40s for this moment. So you are going to tell me that you are 41, 42, 43, 44, or 45. Okay, because we've just done numbers 1 to 5. Ekome, enyo, eten, edre, enumo. So I'm assuming that you've done your notes, so you know. So, having said that, you are going to tell me whether when I mention your name, you are going to tell me whether you are 41 or 42, 43, 44, or 45, you choose. I'm going to start off with Inye Afi Nyumai Edre. I'm 40 years old. Inye Afi Nyumai Edre. So you are going to choose which of the 40s you are in. And maybe I'll give you another example for 45. Inye Afi Nyumai Edre Ke Enumo. Inye afi nyumai edre ke enumo. Which means that I am 45 years old. Nyumai edre 40. Ke and enumo 5. That is how we do accounting in Ghana. Okay, so it's your turn now. When I mention your name, you tell me what age you are. You are all in your 40s, whether you like it or yes. Okay, so I'll start with you, Josephine. Oye afi enyi, which means how old are you? Oye afi enyi, Josephine.
Oh, oh. I can't do it. Sorry, I can't. I can't remember.
Don't ever tell me you can't.
I'm gonna try. I think it's
Excellent.
how to response.
It's on the screen. Inye afi nyongmai.
Inye afe onyai. You said 40 again.
It's on the screen.
Yes, I can't remember how you say the 40 again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nyongmai edre.
Nunya eje ke. Oh, I can't remember how you say one. Sorry, I'm trying. This is like my first lesson, so
That's good.
it's a lot.
I know.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Okay. Now one. Who can build her out with one? How do we say one? Anybody?
Ekome.
Ekome. Thank you, Eunice.
Ekome. Yes, ekome.
Okay. So Josephine, start the sentence again.
Okay.
Oye afi enyi.
Oh.
Inye afi
Yeah, afe enye.
nyongmai.
My. Oh my gosh.
It's tough, I know. New language. New everything. Nyongmai edre.
Eje.
And
Okay.
good. One.
Oh, sorry. I can't remember at all.
You can. I will come back to you again.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Eunice, it's your turn now. Oye
Iye
afi enyi.
afe nyuma enyo kepao.
Hey. Oh, wow. Wow, Eunice. Nyongmai enyo
Enyo
kekbao.
kepao.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That is totally different from what I taught you, which is good. Okay, that tells me that you've been doing a few bits here and there. Okay, so how old are you? What have you said? Can anybody else tell me? David, no, Jabo, Eunice, not you, Eunice. I want somebody else to tell me. Afi nyumai enyo kekbao. Can anybody tell me at least the first part? Nyumai enyo. Anybody, you can unmute yourself and tell me. Nyumai enyo.
41. 42, sorry, 42.
Not quite. Not quite, but well done though. Well done. Well done for trying. Now Eunice has just ended. Nyongmai enyo. Remember, 1 is ekome, 2 is enyo, 3 is ete, 4 is edre, 5 is enumo. I've not taught 6 and 7 and 8. But Eunice, what she has done, she said nyongmai enyo. Not nyongmai edre. Nyongmai edre is 40. He said nyongmai enyo, which means 20. And something. Kekpao. Pao.
Is it 22?
Not 22. Not 22,
Okay.
but well done. Well done. Not 22. She said 20 and something. 1 is ekome, 2 is enyo. So 22 will be nyumai enyo ke enyo. 23, in fact 3 is eten, 4 is edre, 5 is animal. But she said pawo. Pawo is 7. Okay. So she is saying that she is 27. Nyumai enyo ke pawo. Nyumai enyo ke pawo. Eunice, well done. We've done Nyumai Edre. So Nyumai means tens. Nyongma is 10, but Nyumai is the plural form of 10. So tens. Okay, so next will be Michael. Michael, oye afi enye, or another way I can ask that same question is afi enye oye. Kind of was wrong, but it also means the same thing. Afi enye oye.
Yeah, afi nyumai edre ke enyo.
Good. Yeah, afi nyumai edre ke enyo. I'm 42 years old. Great. Okay. Christine. Oye afi enye or afi enye oye.
Iye afe nyumai eje.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't know the other numbers because I wasn't here for that part.
Okay. All right. That's good. Nyumai edre. And nyumai edre is 40. Now, if you wanted to say 1, you say ekome. 1 is ekome. 2 is enyo. 3 will be eten. So choose one of these 3. Ekome, enyo, eten. Ekome, enyo, eten. 3.
Okay.
Ekome, enyo, eten. So let's start again. How old are you? Oye afi.
Iye. Okay. Iye afe nyumai eje ke ekome.
Good. Iye afi nyumai edre ke ekome. Very good. Josephine, I'm back to you again. Afi enyi oye, Josephine. Josephine, you are still on mute.
Sorry, apologies.
That's all right.
Iye afi najume ejuwe ke banyo.
Good. Edre ke kpanyo. Wow. Wow. From not knowing your numbers to kpanyo. Wow. That is good. That is good. Okay. So, inye afi. Now, the word that I've seen that a few of you are struggling with is nyongma. Nyongma. So let's all say it together. Nyongma.
Nyoma.
Again.
Nyoma.
Nyongma.
Nyoma.
Nyoma.
Good.
Nyoma.
Nyongma. Nyongma means 10. Okay. And the plural of it is nyongmai. Nyongmai. Which means tens. Okay. All right. So let's look at a few adjectives as well that we can use here. I've got a few messages here. Let me go through the messages and see if there's any question here for me. Give me a sec. Okay, so red is churu or echuru. Black is edin or ding. Mama ding, black cloth. Echuru. And white is eyeng, eyeng or yang, eyeng or yang. Small or little we'll say BBO, BBO, or few, few. Now you use BBO for small, something little. If you can quantify it or you can measure the size of the thing, you say BBO. If it is something that you cannot quantify, like a bag of sugar or things like that, you can say few, few. Okay. Short will be cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay, cuckoo. And once I mention it, I'll say, you can unmute yourself and say it after me, so that at least when I hear the way you are sounding it, if it is not great, then we can polish it up. Okay. Or you can stay muted as well. It's up to you how you want to join. Okay. Few. So short will be cuckoo or pitio. Cuckoo or pitio. Cuckoo or pitio. Great. And the next word here is ugly. Ugly, which we say tongue, tongue. And the last letter there is ng. It is a nasalized consonant. Ng, ng. And again, the way we sound it is your mouth is open. The back of your tongue will be touching the upper part of your mouth, getting to your throat. And the sound will come through your nose. Okay, so it becomes Okay, so tongue. Now this time I want you all to unmute yourself in 3, 2, 1. Thank you for unmuting yourself, and let's go. Let's all say it together. In tongue, good. Tongue. So the middle word is tongue, or tongue. Okay. Any of these words you will hear which means ugly or not nice. Or another way we can say that something is not nice or something is ugly is the opposite way of nice. Nice is fell. AFL, it is nice. AFL. But if you want to say it is ugly or it is not nice, we say ebe fell. Ebe fell, which means it is not nice. In essence, or in other words, it is ugly. Okay. Now the next word here is big or huge. Big or huge. And in that we say agbo. Agbo means big. Agbo means big. But the next word which means huge is gojo. 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 It's an adjective to describe how big or how huge something is. And sometimes you can say eda, meaning it is big. Eda, it is big. But we add the adjective gojo to it and we say eda gojo. Eda gojo. Means that you are using 2 adjectives at the same time, which should tell you how big something is really. Probably it's, in English, we will say it is humongous. Okay, gojo. Okay, let's also recap on these as well that I've done in the past couple of months, of past 2 sessions that I have run. So we are going to look at examples of prepositions and nouns and adjectives. Okay, how the Ghanaian language or Ga language structure is. Now, a lot of the difficulties that beginners or learners do have when it comes to learning Ga or any Ghanaian language per se is the structure. Okay, because we struggle with the structure, we do literal translation from English to Ga, which makes things a lot difficult and a lot all over the place, because things, when you literally translate things, it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to show you why in a sec. And that is all because of the arrangement, how the structure is. So for example, how prepositions and nouns appear in English could be different from the way it appears in Ga. So when we say a preposition shows you, there are words that tells you the position of something. So example, on top, under, beside, behind, in front. They are all positional words. So words that we use to describe the position of something. Okay. Now is under the big umbrella of a noun. It can be a pronoun, it can be a proper noun, it can be a non-countable noun, or any kind of noun. Okay, it's under that big umbrella. When it comes to Ga, nouns come first before a preposition. Okay, so that is the disparity between the two languages, the difference between the two languages. Okay, and Ga and any other Ghanaian language is tonal as well. So if you pronounce something, that is why when we are pronouncing certain words, I'm showing you how to sound it, because the sound is as important as the word itself. If you get the sound wrong, you might be saying something different. Okay. So sound is important. Positioning is also very important. So the money is in the box. The money is in the box. Now let's look at how that is translated into Ga. The money is in the box. Shika. When we are writing Ga, now most of the writings I'm going to write here, they are the way we speak it, the spoken language, not the written language, because these are two different languages. They are similar, but different. When we are writing, we would have written Shikale, L and E, Shikale. And when we are speaking, we usually don't say Shikale, we say Shika. But we always want to find ways and means to shorten our language, to cut things short. That is why we usually say in, bo, we say o. Okay, so Shika instead of Shikale. Shikaka, adeka no, or adeka mli. Shikaka, adeka mli. Mli means in or inside. Adeka, as you can see, is box. I have color coded it so that it is easy for you to comprehend and see the difference. Okay, so you realize that the blue, which is the noun, comes first before the green, which is preposition. Okay, Shikaka adekamli. Shikaka adekamli. Repeat this phrase after me, please. Shikaka adekamli. You can unmute yourself. Okay, still waiting. I need you to repeat this sentence after me. Shikaka adekamli. Eunice.
Shikaka adekamli.
Good. Josephine.
Shika adaka
Slow.
Shika aka adaka mini.
Good. Michael.
Shikaka atakamli.
Okay. Angelina or Angela. You are still on mute.
Shikaka adekamli.
Shikaka adekamli. Okay. Shikaka Adekami. Adekami. Okay. Now I have noticed something here, so we're going to change it. I've written Adaka, and it's not Adaka, it is Adeka. It is a spelling error. Apologies for that. I have changed that now. So it is Adeka. Adeka. My apologies. Adeka. So Shikaka Adeka Mling. Shikaka Adeka Mling. Okay. And the next sentence here was the book is on the table. Or no, the book is on the bed. Where we go here, the book is on the bed. It is translated Wulueka Sachueno. Wulueka Sachueno. Sachu means bed. Now, stands for the word, the determiner the. Really, when we are writing, it is le. When we are speaking, we say e. Okay, so let's repeat that. Wolueka Sachueno. Eunice.
Wolo ka sacho and no.
Good. Okay. Now you missed the first e. So let's start again.
Wolo ka sacho and no.
Perfect. Wolueka Sachueno. Okay. That's good. Wolueka Sachueno. All right. So, Josephine, let's go. Wolueka Sachueno.
Wolocha Sachen.
Good. Wolueka, it is a K. Ka Sachueno.
Woloeka Sachen.
Perfect. Perfect. Wolueka Sachueno. Michael, let's go.
Wulueka Sachueno.
Wolueka Sachueno. Nicola, welcome. Long time no see. Nabo Eche.
Okay.
Nabo Eche.
What does that mean? Inabo Eche.
Nabo Eche. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Funny you. So you want me to try, yeah?
So yes, let's try this.
Woloeka Sachueno.
Wolueka Sachueno. Excellent. Excellent. Now, all the pronunciations that we've done here today, you guys have been excellent, which is great. Because pronunciation and intonation is very important when it comes to speaking Ghana. Okay, the dog is lying under the chair. Again, another preposition, but this time you guys are now going to try to translate this for me. Now, there are 3 words here that I might have to translate them for you. That is fine. So get your notebooks, get your pens ready. Dog. Dog is bay. Bay. Under is shishin. Shishin. Good. And the last one, chair, is what? Anybody? Same. Same. So repeat after me these 3 main words. Dog is bay.
Be.
Bay. And
Bay.
under is shishin.
Shishi.
Shishin.
Shishi.
And chair is same.
Say.
Same.
Same. Good. So we've got bay, shishin, same. These 3 words you might not know, so I've told you. But the rest you should be able to translate yourself. The dog. Just looking at the 2 examples, the money, the book, look at the translation, because the noun comes before, the determiner comes after the noun, the lesser noun. So we got the book will lower. So the dog will be what? So I'm going to ask you to now translate this. And I'm going to measure your name one by one. So get your pens, write them down, and I'm going to give you a sec to get your thoughts together, and we're going to put them together. The dog is lying. The first part, we're going to translate that. The dog is lying. The dog is lying. Okay, so let me start with Michael. You can even do the whole thing. The dog is lying under the chair.
Okay, repeat the first, the three words that you said a second ago.
Dog is bay.
Yeah.
Shishi. Say. Bay.
The shishi was under, yeah?
Yeah, shishi is under.
Yeah.
And saying is chair.
Okay. And did you say lion?
Yeah, the dog is lying under the chair.
I'm saying, did you say the word for lion?
No, I didn't. In fact, lying, yeah, let me add that. Ka.
It's what?
Ka.
Ka.
Ka. Yes, it is K-A, but the A is a nasalized A. So it is an A with a cap on top of it, or a zigzag on top of it. Sometimes we don't get those letters, so you don't see it written, but it is a nasalized. Ka. Just like these two K-A's that are here. Ka.
Trying to see
Great.
the similarities in the two
Yeah, the two
translation.
translations. Yeah. So the first two words at least.
So Kabe or Beka. No? Am I wrong?
Not quite. Okay, I'll come back to it. Put your thoughts together. Looking at the first one, the money is in the box. Okay, the money is in the box. Okay, Shika, the money. Shika, ka. Now it is assumed. Now let me explain this to you, all of you. Now we say ka meaning line. Now if you got money and it's inside a box, you put the money inside the box, whether it's a coin or a paper. Is it going to stand or is it going to lie down? It's going to lie.
It'll be lying.
Okay, but in English, we don't even say that because it is assumed it's in our head. We say it's in the box. But in Ghanaian languages, it is very descriptive. Okay, even if it is a coin, you're not going to stand it, it's going to lie down. If it is a paper, it's also going to lie, unless it is a bunch that you probably will be able to stand the whole bunch. Okay, so we describe how it's going to be. So that is why in the translation we say, Shikaka, the money is lying adekaramling in the box. Okay, which literally translate, the translation here is Shikaka, the money there, lying adeka box, the inside or in comes at the end. So if you do a literal translation, it doesn't work. That is why when we are learning the new languages, we do, if you do literal translation, you get everything wrong. Okay, so we switch it, we swap it just like you can see. That's why I've color coded it blue and green so that you can see where you need to swap. Okay, so Shikaka Adekamli. So again, when you bring it to this one, the dog will be what? Let's take it one by one. The dog will be what?
Bay. A.
Bear.
Bay.
Bear.
Bay.
Very good. Well done, Eunice. Bear. When we are writing, we say bele, but when we are speaking, we say be. Be. Okay, so let's continue. Be is line. How do we say it's line in Ga?
Beyeka.
Good. Continue.
Beyeka. Saying shishi.
Good. Very good. Beka saying shishi. Okay. Beka saying shishi. So you see how we've changed it. Looking at the top, the noun comes before the preposition in Ga, whereas in English, the preposition comes before the noun. See the arrangement here? Beka, dog is lying. Saying shishi under the chair. Okay? Beka saying shishi. Now let's all say this. Let's all repeat it. Beka saying shishi. In fact, I need to hear the right tonation as well. So let's go with you, Michael.
Beka. Sheshi.
Take your time. Let's go again.
Let me say it again. Let me repeat after you.
Beka
Beka.
saying shishi.
Say shishi.
That's it. That's it. Beka saying shishi. That's why I put the dash so that you see where you kind of give it a bit of a break before you move on. Okay. Beka saying shishi. Okay. Well done. Beka saying shishi. All right, Josephine, let's come to you. Beka saying shishi.
Beka saying shishi.
Hey, Beka saying shishi. That's good. All right, Angela. Okay, let's go.
Beyeka saying shishi.
Beka saying shishi. Beka saying shishi. All right, thank you. And Eunice?
Beka saying shishi.
Good. Beka saying shishi. Okay, but when you are saying it, even the here, you can even blend it in. Beka saying shishi. Saying shishi. Okay. Last one here. Adole is sitting behind the door. Now, if you got like 2, 3, 4-year-old children in the house, you will know this. They always like to sit behind the door. But at the kitchen door or wherever, they are always sitting behind the door. Anytime you open it, you need to check for you open. So Adole is sitting behind the door. And the translation here is Adoleta Shinase. Adoleta Shinase. Even though when we are writing it, we would have written Adoleta Shinale se. Okay, but this is spoken language, purely spoken, so Shinase. Now this black A, you don't have to say it because Shina already has got 2 R's at the end. So even if you omit the R in the middle of in between Shina and Se, doesn't really make a difference because you don't really hear it. Adoleta Shinase. Adoleta Shinase. Let's all repeat it. Adoleta
Adoleta
Shinase.
shinase.
Adoleta shinase.
Good.
Adoleta shinase.
Adoleta shinase.
Good.
Adoleta shinase.
That's it. Okay. And Michael.
Adoleta shina. I say.
Good. Okay. So quickly, let's look at how adjectives also appear in some sentences. Now, in English, we got the adjectives before the noun. Okay. Now, in the previous slides, we did talk about a few adjectives like white, a few colors, white, red, black, and big, small. Okay, they are all describing words. And that is what we're going to be using here, describing words. So we are going to describe some nouns. Now in Ghana, again, here, a noun comes in a sentence before an adjective comes. So for example, the red book. The red book. In English, we say the red book. Determiner comes, the noun comes, the adjectives come, then the noun will come. In Ghana, it will be different. So I need some. Now, how do we say book in Ghana? Anybody? Book.
Wolo.
Wolo. Wolo. Okay, so the red book is going to be
Wolo chulu.
go. The red book. Eunice.
Wolo Echu.
Wolo echulu. Okay, Wolo echulu. Well done. That is a good try, but you left something out. That is the determiner. The.
Wolo E.
Okay. All right. Well done. Okay, Michael.
Well, true.
Say that again.
Well, true.
Okay. Wolo echulu. Very well done. But you also left the word the. Josephine, let's give it a try. Oh, you muted yourself again.
Sorry. Wolo echu.
Wolo echu. Okay. Nicolate.
I'm trying to think what the is looking at these sentences.
Okay.
So wolo I don't know the word for red. What's the word for red?
Yeah, it is echuru or churu.
True. Wolo true.
Should there be a car in there?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
what we're missing?
Cat is lying.
No,
Cat is lying.
Good. Cat is lying. Cat is lying.
Wolo true.
Good. Good. Nicolate, you got it.
Okay. I was
Okay.
guessing, but
Oh, okay.
Wolo
Wolo churue. Wolo. So book. Churu. Red. The. So we were all missing the determiner, the, THE. Now, if you look at the other sentences, the door, or even the chair, saying, the chair, saying, the door, shina. Okay, so when we come here, the book, because when you're just saying that it on its own, you say the book before you put in the middle the adjective. So we say wolo chirue. Wolo chirue. Okay. Because it is very important that the adjective comes right after the noun itself, because the adjective is what is describing the noun. Okay, so it is important that it comes, because usually if you're using the determiner, you say woloe, woloe. It comes right after that, woloe, the book. But because the adjective is describing the noun, it has to come right after the noun. So it takes, you stick it in between the and the noun. Okay, below it. I'm aware our time is up. Let's do this quick. We're almost done. So the black box has fallen on the ground. Black box has fallen on the ground. Now, in the Ghanaian languages, or in Ga in particular, the language is very descriptive. In English, usually you wouldn't say the black box has fallen on the ground. You would just say the black box has fallen. Where else will it fall than on the ground or on the floor? But in Ga, just for us to be able to translate it properly, I've added on the ground to be specific, because in Ga, that is how we are going to translate it into the black box. So adeka dinye egbeshi. Adeka dinye, the black box, has fallen on the ground. It's just two words in Ga. Egbeshi. Okay. Now, please do repeat after me. Adeka dinye egbeshi.
Adeka Beshi.
Okay, you left something, the word after din. Good. Yeah, so let's say it again.
Adeka Beshi.
Okay, now that word, the funny three, is not a, it is e, as if you're saying air, the air that we breathe, air, but you cut it short, e.
Okay. Adeka Beshi.
That's it. Adeka din e igbeshi. Okay, but the e, you can even add it to the din, so it becomes adeka din e, no break. Adeka din e. As long as the e sound comes out, it's okay. Adeka din e igbeshi. All right, so me sound the sentence for me. Adeka din e igbeshi.
Adeka dinye ekbeshi.
That's it. Perfect. Okay, Josephine.
Adeka dinye ibeshi.
Okay. Say that again. The last two
Adeka
words.
dinye ibeshi.
Okay. Now the last but one word is a. The e sounds like a.
E.
Yeah. So it is egbe.
Ebe.
That's it. So let's start the sentence again. Adeka din e. Egbeshi.
Adeka dinye ibeshi.
Good. Okay, Michael.
Adika dinye ekbashe. No. Adika dinye ekbashe. Chi.
Egbe.
Adika dinye ekbeshi.
That's it. Adeka din e. Egbeshi. Right, Angela.
Adeka dinye egbeshi.
Adeka din e egbeshi. Oh, you are done. Thank you very much.
Adashi.
The last bit here will be the little child is talking. The little child is talking. And we can say the little child, we can say abifao. Abifao means little child. Abifao or bekenbi bio. Bekenbi bio. So abifao is infant, actually. Okay. Abifao is infant. But sometimes people interchangeably use it for a small child or a child. Okay, so if you hear somebody saying abifao, you need to look at the contents of the sentence. It might be an infant or just a child. Okay, abifao or bekenbibio. Bekenbibio. So bekenbibio is the same as abifao. Okay, all right. So abifao If you want to use abifawe, you can say abifawe in vie. Remember at the beginning I said me or I or is. We can use I and in. This is how we say it in vie. Usually when we are writing, we say me in vie. Abifawe in vie. Or we can be boe in vie. You choose which one is easy for you and you repeat it. So you can repeat the two, and when I mention your name, you can choose one. Abigail, I could see that you were getting ready. Eunice, I could see that you were getting ready. You can put yourself off mute and say, choose whichever one, whether you want to use Beke video or Abifaw.
Beke video a way in way
In V.
in
Good. In V. A.
in way.
Good. Good. In V. A. So the last word is in V. A. Just like you're sounding it in English, really. In V.
In we a.
Exactly.
In
Abifawe.
Okay. Even though I'm breaking it down so that it is easy for all of you to say it, but we say it once in V. In V. But when you break it down, it is in V. A. In V. A. Okay. So we can be bio a pause in V. A. Okay. So Eunice, go again.
Beke video a in way.
I say it can be beer in V. Well done. Okay. So let's go to Nicote.
Abifawe in vie.
Before in V. Okay. Josephine.
Okay, Bibia in where?
Good.
In where?
In V. They can be BOA in V. Michael.
Abifawe ingwe.
Again.
Abifawe ingwe.
Good. Abifawe in V. Abifawe in V. Excellent. Well done. Angela.
Abifawe in way.
Abifawe in V. Abifawe in V. So with that said, that brings us, we've gone over about 10 minutes. That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Well done. Yeah, but more than well done for coming. So as I said, I'm going to see if this recording did actually work.